Hey there guys, William Shat here, and today I wanted to finish up our Breen invasion series. We're not working on the missions anymore, obviously, but we have all the gear. We have our Breen carrier, which I wanted to go over in in-depth detail. We also wanted to look at the Breen Space set, as well as the Breen torpedoes. Oops, there's the Breen torpedo. Yeah, we threw on the Borg adaptive transphasic torpedo because we decided to, or I decided I would go with a transphasic torpedo build. So I also have the Breen transphasic cluster torpedo in the rear. Probably not the best ideal build, but we're just trying to look at all the Breen facets and what it'll do for us. So if we look at the space set itself, we see that we get a transphasic projectile bonus, so that's why we're running all those. Improves power transfer. It's not going to make a huge difference with the few weapons that we have that actually drain from our weapon power. Breen energy siphon, and new this year, eject cryoplasma. Sorry. Ejects warp plasma. Plasma does plasma damage to all ships around it. Minus turn rate, minus impulse speed. Plus 7.5% when using engineering or intelligence bridge officer ability. All damage resist as well. Is that only when it's going off? I don't know. Let's see, we have the Breen's weapon capacitor. Plus 40 weapon power setting for 10 seconds, but minus 15 everything else. So we're actually netting a minus 5 loss on our power systems. So if we go ahead and hit that right here, we see how I have my weapon power or my power settings adjusted. As an engineer, this is not really a ship to fly, but this is the stuff. This is the ship I got the gear on. So when we hit that button, which is the Breen weapons capacitor, you see our weapon power drops there, and this one shoots way up. So lasts for 10 seconds. Actually, it wasn't a huge drop. So was it worth it? I don't know. It was a decent amount of drop. Let's see. Add 7.5 weapon power to your shield power. Obviously, I'm not using that the right way. I should have my weapons power up to full. Would add more too, or at least a little bit higher. This is a set more for, I would say, a tactical type ship. That'll probably do a little bit better. This gear anyway. This ship itself is definitely for a science character. But we'll go ahead and look at how this performs. This build is somewhat wonky. I don't know if anybody's noticed, I think the sound might sound a little bit better for everyone. I did get a new headset. I was using the Blue Snowball before. I liked it, but the sound quality it wasn't quite where I wanted it to be, so I picked this one up. So increase our weapons fire or power settings. See what that torpedo does. A decent amount of damage, not great though. Pretty nice, nice critical. That cooldown's pretty horrible though on that torpedo, so I'm not a huge fan. And it took quite a while to do. Oh, they're going over here, so I'm going over there too, I think. This guy's gonna screw up this match here. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna have to watch these nanite spheres and hope that we don't get wrecked by them. Alright, we're screwed. Yeah, we're gonna get warped out. Yep, we failed. The one assessment I will make of this ship and using the Breen set itself is it's probably not the greatest. It's a very, very technical type of set in which you have to know exactly what you're doing and exactly how to configure it to where it's beneficial to you with using the Breen weapons capacitor. Hopefully you would have like a red matter capacitor to offset the penalty against your other power settings. And also having an EPS transfer if you're an engineer. You could put this on, like, let's say the cruiser, which would probably be more appropriate for an engineer. Let me show you exactly how this ship should look on a science character. This build right here is totally wrong for an engineer. I just wanted to go over the space set and a final look over it. For me, it's too complicated. I'm not a huge fan of it. I do not recommend using this unless you know exactly what you're doing. So my final assessment on the Breen Space set is maybe you could pick it up as a starter set, or when you're going through level 41, 42 through like 44, 45, and on up to 50. And then once you get to 50, start working on maybe your Solanae set or your Borg sets. But other than that, it's just a filler. You can just use it as a fill-in. Or if you're one of those brave people where you want to really tinker around with power settings quite a bit, where you're going to be adjusting them and using a lot of possibly aux to bat, which I do not use. I stay away from that stuff. I know some people will be like, well, why not? Why don't you use it? I'm not a fan of it. I'm not trying to figure out how. I want my power settings to be high all the time. So for me, this isn't the set for me. I don't like tinkering in the middle of battle. I'm more worried about getting certain attacks off. And without further ado, I will show you what this ship should look like on a science character. Okay, here's what this ship should look like on a science character. or at least possibly a better idea for a build. Granted, some of my gear isn't the greatest as far as my consoles are concerned. I picked up a few nice ones. Let's see, originally I had, and I'll just go through some of the gear I have here. Starting off with some of the consoles, I had the particle generator. I'm actually going to replace that with the exotic particle field exciter. I don't know why it's comparing it to those other two. Let's see, let's compare it to that. Yes, now it compares it to that. You can see we have plus 26.2 exotic damage with the exotic particle field accelerator, and this is the very rare version. I didn't get it to crit when I crafted it, so I figured, I'd still throw it on. With it critting, I think it goes up to around 32, 33 exotic damage, and then 22 maximum shield capacity. And then when shield heal goes off, plus 10 weapon power is definitely nice, considering I am only at 50 weapon power. And actually, why did that not? Okay, it's getting screwed up constantly. I still need to fix that. Anyway, so if we look at our stats here, 13,906 shields, throw this one on, 15,785, almost a 2,000 shield jump with the shield capacity. So if you had a shield capacity console on, good time to get one of these and just replace it. It's a lot better. Shield capacity isn't the biggest deal in this game. It's more about hull and healing it. Shield capacity, it is what it is. But so I got a nice little bump there. So for my tactical, I was running some plasma projectile weapon tactical consoles. They were a little bit old, so I crafted some new ones. I got them up to Mark 12s. 3 of the 4 I did get to crit and go to ultra rare. So we got our, and actually I'll go over this right now since we're going to put these on. I have the Romulan Hyper Plasma Torpedo Launcher and the Omega Plasma Torpedo Launcher. I'm still debating on whether or not to do the crafted Plasma Torpedo Launcher. I'm still in the works on that. So if we go ahead and look at what our plasma damage is across these two, actually let's see. Every 1 second for 15 seconds. To this one, we're getting 277 from our consoles. So we're getting 2043. Also, we have signature nullifiers. And I think we're getting a buff to that, actually. So let's look at this one real quick. 2043, if I take this off, I drop down to 2013. So these are definitely cool with a plasma build. So it adds, I believe it's also adding to, and I'm using corrosive plasma turrets, plasma weapons. So let's see, plasma damage, 54.2 plasma damage per second. Plasma, 260 plasma. Okay. So if we take one of these off, are we getting a buff from that? Yes, we are. 253, it was at 260 before, 52 point, let's see if that was. And it buffs that as well, buffs the plasma dot as well. So these are definitely, I'm going to actually get another one of these down the road. So if we put this on, let's just look at this plasma torpedo is doing 2043. 2043 goes up to 2106. Not a big bump there, actually. Kind of disappointing. Although I was replacing, I was only going from 26.2 to 30% and 31.9%. Yeah, I was expecting a little bit bigger bump there. Anyway, going over the whole ship here real quick again. We're using the Romulan Hyperplasma Torpedo, Omega Plasma Torpedo. I'm still kind of working out the kinks on that, and you'll see why when we go into this thing here. Running corrosive plasma dual cannons because I'm getting the buff from these weapons, or these consoles here. And I'm also running the counter command set, and there's one reason I did that in particular. I thought it was a pretty good set for a torpedo build type ship. Improves kinetic weapon damage. Ship hit points, shield hit points. I like that for my science character. Resist hold, disable knock, repel. Don't really care too much about that. Improves energy weapon damage. That's a nice little bonus. The 5% accuracy, that's kind of nice too. But the improves exotic damage. That was another reason I got it for my science character. I like that exotic buff. 5 inertia, 5 defense. That was nice. The warp core is counterintuitive. I actually have an engineering council being made in the as we speak. That will be adding a +4 engine power buff to it, which will definitely increase my weapon power. As you can see, we have add 7.5 of your engine power to your weapon power as a bonus. That will be nice, and a decent amount of shield capacity along with the councils that add to it. So I also went with a couple of councils that matched with both of my Romulan plasma and my Omega plasma right now, which is definitely nice. The plus 8.1 plasma damage, which synergizes well with all the other plasma weapons. Power transfer rate, that's always nice when firing beams or cannons. And always, 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 if you can have it, the Omega weapon amplifier. Plus 10 current weapon power. Plus 500 current weapon power resist rating. Plus 500 maximum weapon power resist rating. If you're doing it right, if you're having something going off like scatter volley or beam fire at will, you can almost not 100% guarantee a constant uptime, but a pretty good chance that your Mega weapon power is being applied to all of your weapons. So once one of them hits that 2.5% chance, all your weapons are getting that little buff there. So, or your weapon power is getting the buff there, and your resist rating. So that's cool. I was also able to get the Plush Breck frigates, which I definitely recommend doing, and I went over that in one of my previous videos about how to do that. So let's get this thing going here real quick. Let's get into as far as the stations I went with a scatter volley cannon type build, torpedo spread 3, tac team 1. I definitely wanted to get that tac team going. I went with kinetic magnet for the slower Romulan plasma torpedoes. I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of it, but we'll play around with it a little bit more. If I wasn't using this, I would probably be using auxiliary structural integrity. It's up about every 15 seconds or so, and it's a good constant heal, and I don't have a whole lot of heals on this ship for hull. More shield healing than hull healing. So we get our Plush Breck frigates out. I'll wait for everyone to catch up. So you kind of always want your target in front of you. So you just throw that little thing at it, see if it speeds those up. Nope. See, I'm not a huge fan of it because it does. As soon as you do 20,000 damage to your target that gets that kinetic magnet on it, it stops working. It stops pulling the torpedoes in really fast. And if other people are hitting your target, I think that's counting against it. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think I might actually would have gone with something else. But I definitely like the torpedo spread, and that one actually worked out really well. I want my torpedo spread to hit my Omega torpedoes. That would be ideal. So let's go over here and take care of our little nanites. Actually, looks like I don't even have to. But just in case. See, there goes the torpedoes flying, and see, they only got like a couple of them to do it. And I'm gonna blow up. Yep. I pissed off far too many of them. That's one thing I like about plasma. It keeps ticking away on those dots. Probably a mistake to have on this ship would be the... Oh, never mind, I don't have that one. That's the one you want to hit. See, I had that last shot, the torpedo volley I had there, use the Romulan plasma torpedo, and I like to avoid using that with the torpedo spread, if I can. I like to use the Omega version, so a little bit better. See if I can hit that. Watch what happens here. There goes some of them. Yep, it stopped working. Oh, maybe it did work. Maybe it did work. It's a neat idea, but the fact that it dissipates so quickly is kind of bad. There we go. Let's hit him with this. I'll just run interference while they blow everything else up. It's a good CC ship, that's for sure. Only thing that ends up being a problem sometimes is they get a little squishy, so... And there goes the conduit. Oh boy, and I need to get away from that cube or I'm going to get wrecked. I got my oh shit bubble I can put on myself, extra shield capacity, while I heal up inside of it. I'm gonna run back over here and mess these guys up. And we'll go ahead and take out the cube. saying I put that thing on it, and those torpedoes are not going towards it at all. See, now it wasted that torpedo spread on those. So instead of getting 3, I got 2. So that's one thing you gotta struggle with a little bit. So I haven't quite decided. Is it time to put on another dual cannon and get rid of one of the... Actually, if I were to do that, I would probably get rid of the Romulan one, believe it or not. So all in all, not bad. Another nice thing that comes with this build is the reactive repair nanites. Hull heals also heal your hangar pets within 5k of your target. I have seen this. I didn't really kind of look at it, but if you look back in the video, you should see these heals going off as long as I'm close enough to them. And I think I only had to relaunch when I died. I wasn't really spending too much time relaunching, so that's nice. If you look at the let's see, info, 46k hull, so they can take quite a beating. And it's definitely better than fighters because they last against not all warp cores, but they can take at least a medium-sized ship warp core. Cubes definitely get them if they're too close. But even if they're on the outskirts of a cube warp core, they are still usually able to survive. So, all in all, I like this build. It does a decent amount of damage. I think I had it upwards of 11 to 12,000 DPS when I ran it on the last conduit I did. So, as always, guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and like it, subscribe to my channel, and as always, we'll see you back here next time.